When I was about 4 years old, I was given what I thought was a choice. If you don't eat your beans, you don't get dessert. I mean, it's almost... Anyway, I thought it was a choice. It wasn't. I looked at my teacher and I said, fine, no dessert. She was enraged, thought I was being sassy pants. And she and the other teacher if you don't eat your beans, you don't get dessert. It almost sounds like a Pink Floyd song. I thought I was being given a choice. I was 4. My teacher told me that if I don't eat my beans, I don't get dessert. So I looked at her and I said, fine, no dessert. For some reason, I just didn't want my beans that day. And she thought I was being sassy pants. And she yanked my ponytail backwards, pried my mouth open, and the other teacher started shoving beans down my throat. Apparently, she thought I was also being sassy. I did what a 4-year-old with beans being shoved down her throat would do, and I vomited and threw up and spewed everywhere. And I never ate, I never ate beans after that. Which is why I'm having a hard time adjusting to this whole food, plant-based way of eating. Hi, I'm Liz, and this is Groovy Happy You, where I talk about homesteading on the central coast of California in a 55-plus mobile home community, and yeah, aging as gracefully as I can. Anyway, the whole food plant-based diet, when I've had to disclose to people that I eat with periodically, like my family and a couple of friends, they think I'm nuts, and they ask me, how do you get your protein? And after about 60 years, I'm learning how to eat beans. Well, mostly, somewhat. I still haven't gotten brave enough to try the black-eyed peas or the lima beans, but I'm a work in progress. I'm making progress with lentils and chickpeas, and it's a texture thing for me. Probably some emotional stuff attached to that too. Things I've been working out with my therapist. But anyways, after cooking for myself and others for, gosh, over 5 decades now, since I learned to cook, I've needed to learn how to do food in a whole different way. I've done this whole complete 180 with my way of eating and new lifestyle, and yes, it has been a 180 lifestyle change for me. The groovy happy part's still there. I don't know. I still was a happy little sassy girl, even after having beans shoved down my throat. But eating whole food, plant-based requires skill sets I've not developed before. I mean, I can meal prep for a week to feed 6 people and have most of the food prepared in just a 1-day, half-a-day type of thing. You know, grilling out on the grill, freezing up some foods, doing shopping and meal prepping ahead of time. I mean, I'm a lazy cooker, also a lazy gardener, but anyway, the shopping and prepping and stuff is new to me, and it's taking a little bit more time, and I'm getting better at it, and it's worthwhile because my health has improved. I've lost over 20 pounds, and I don't have the numbers yet for my ejection fraction. That'll come up in about 3 or 4 months maybe, but the numbers were going downhill. Let me look at my paper here. So a year ago, April, my ejection fraction was at 55 to 60%, and 9 months later, it was down to 45 to 50% ejection fraction, and then in another 3 months, it had dropped down to 30 to 35%. So I doubled down on eating healthy. I was already heading that direction, and I'm feeling a whole lot better, so that's also an indicator of how this is working for me. My cholesterol back a year ago, April, was at 274. In September of 2024, I was down to 241 with just mostly eating healthy. I was able to cook for myself, and foods were coming in. I did meatless Mondays and ate more salads and things. And as of May 19th, my cholesterol total was down to 209. So that's why I'm going to maintain this way of eating on a whole food, plant-based diet, so it's working for me. I'm not going to be an evangelist for this. I think everybody's bodies are different. So where I'm going with this is you need to make your own choices. And that's number one. And number two is homesteading is taking on a more meaningful and deeper meaning for me. Gardening and homesteading outside in zone 1, as I talked about the zones the other day, brings me peace, brings me joy. I like seeing my goofy flamingos in the yard. I like hearing the wind chimes and the birds. I don't think the hummingbirds have found my back porch areas hummingbird feeders yet, but I'm hopeful. Things have turned around, and I'm not the little girl that had beans shoved down her throat, and I realized how abusive that was, and that I've been basing a lot of my life choices on abuse, and not just that incident, there were others. And a lot of us are functioning with trauma and abuse. I mean, we survived COVID, and that was definitely a traumatic experience, whatever level you experienced it on. I think having COVID in January of 2024, or was it 2023? I don't remember. Anyways, I think it was the COVID that led to my declining ejection fraction, and the cardiologists wanting to put in a possible stent that wasn't needed, but they were talking about instead doing a bovine valve, which is a cow valve. Didn't really want to go down there, and then I found out that it had gotten so much worse that I wasn't even a candidate for that at this time, and that's been scary, absorbing that information. And it's solidified and helped me make different choices, and to want to further develop this whole food plant-based diet, lifestyle change and homestead change, and seeking a joy change. The cardiologists, based on the declining numbers of the ejection fraction, have not been optimistic, and I need optimism in my life. Sometimes I sassily and otherwise project humor at inappropriate times, and sometimes I just pull up my big girl panties and my big girl boots and I adapt a sassy, fun, good-natured attitude as a form of rebellion, and that too served me. Not always, but oftentimes. I mean, fake it till you make it type of thing. I don't want to do that here. I want to enjoy my patio garden. I want to enjoy my back 40 eventual food forest, my berries on the side of the house one day, and my pollinator scented things just for me garden out front, just because they bring me joy. Those are the directions I'm going. I'll be documenting that here as we go along, and talking about some of the mental health aspects of health as well, because I have beat heart failure twice now. This is my third bout of it, and the state of my mental health was crucial and extremely necessary to survive. And I'm in survival mode. And I am embracing the things that have worked before and doubling down on what's working now. And all of this is part of it. So anyways, that's the update. That's the direction that the channel and myself and my homestead are going in. Hope you come along for the journey. If you've had some success in overcoming one of those harsh things of life, childhood traumas, whatever, let me know. I'd kind of like to hear your story, because we need to be sharing a lot more shared success stories, because there's a lot bigger things than just my health and my little homestead that we're going to be needing to prop ourselves up with. So anyways, blessings, groovy, happy you, and I'd like to see you again.